Thank you so much for being here with me today. Jessica, why don't you start it off by telling us where you're from, how long you've been sober now, and we'll start there.
My name is Jessica McGuire. I've been sober since 2 months and 15 days. And yes, uh, I am normally originated from Romania, Transylvania. And yeah, um, it's been 2 months and 15 days.
There we go. That's amazing. I
Yeah,
love it. All
yes.
the way from Romania, Pennsylvania, not Transylvania, Pennsylvania. I love it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So now with alcohol 2 months ago, 15 days, how is alcohol negatively affecting your personal life?
Um, I can say that the habit of alcohol for me was like I would drink and I would want cocaine or other substances combined with it. And combined with that would be lots of gambling, lots of losing money and losing sanity.
Mhm.
Um, and I could just, looking back at it now, I can see how I was just stuck in this never-ending loop. And at a time, I was with my soon-to-be ex-husband. I it he I don't know how to say it. I chose sobriety, he didn't.
Hmm.
The moment I put my foot down and I said I want to be better, I got a lot of defensiveness.
Yeah.
And looking back now, even yesterday, I looked at those messages from that time with a clear mind, and there was a lot of negative stuff about it, like the defensiveness. And I realized, oh, I need to be better. I need to do better for myself. This is not doing good for my mental, for the life I was living was not okay. That was not okay. And I used to believe this thing. I used to say, I don't know, I think we have a problem, I would say. And I would get back, I don't think we have a problem. It's only every 2, 3 weeks. But then I would think to myself, yeah, but how many weeks are in a year? And how much often are we starting from zero over and over again? Because at the beginning I would believe, yeah, we don't have a problem, but yes, we do have a problem.
Mhm.
Like you, like we're drinking, I'm drinking, and you feel that urge, oh, it's something else, and there goes your night, there goes your sleep, there goes your sanity. You wake up miserable the
Yeah.
next day, and for what? For losing money, for always being cranky, and just I don't know. It's just no. Like looking back, I'm just so grateful everything happened the way it happened.
Yeah. Well, you made the things happen in
Yeah.
your life that are happening happen. So big win and seriously so inspiring, honestly, because here you are, you had a husband, right? And you're like, it has to end because we have two people. One wants to get sober, one doesn't. And although that's not an easy choice, the one that you made, you chose yourself. And that's so inspiring because there's so many women out there who just can't choose themselves. So the fact that you chose yourself is such a huge win. And to not see this as a defeat, this is just the start of the rest of your life.
I used to feel guilty, and it was just the way I was brainwashed. Because I was brainwashed. I looking back, I was a little baby, just listening to what he had to say, but I was never less heard myself what I have to say.
Right.
And finally, when I put my foot down, I got the opposite of what I was hoping for or what I believed I would get. When I
Right.
finally said no, I thought I would get, oh, I'm proud of you. Good. You're stepping up. You're choosing yourself. No. Okay, then I know now I need to be there for myself. I need to heal. I need to do the right thing.
And was
And
that your turning point? Was that when you're like, enough is enough?
yeah, it was December 8th. I remember till this day. it was one of those days I would get a message from him, and that was like my me battling myself that day. I was very miserable, and I got this message. And I think that was he said, "Get ready tonight. We're partying because we had a rough week, like a reward, right?" And I was like, "No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Like it doesn't sit right with me, with my mind, with everything." And I that day I fell to my knees. I also prayed to God for the first time. I remember to this day I was crying for the past year. I cried every time by myself in the house because I couldn't allow myself to be vulnerable without being yelled at or ending in a fight.
Wow.
So that day a lot of things happened. I cried. I prayed to God to first of all to give me the power to say no because I'm scared I cannot say no to all of this drug abuse and alcohol abuse and all of the abuse, and to show me where I'm doing wrong. And that was I remember right now I was writing this message and I said I'm not in the right mind state to do anything tonight. So therefore, please don't be mad. But I would say pass to all the partying tonight. And I even remember sending the message, and it was such a surreal moment because I sent it at 555. And the numbers usually follow me a lot. I've been noticing, and I've been having a lot of signs. And looking at it at that moment of the meaning was like positive changes ahead. And I could feel the time stopping for a while, and I just like I had this power in me for absolutely saying no. And even though he chose to, I said you can do whatever you want, and I choose not to. Of course the reaction was like, are you mad at me? Or I was like, no, I'm not mad. I just know if I would do that, because we've been kind of beefing a little bit those days, not like fighting, but it was weird. I didn't want it to fuel that because I knew myself I'm not gonna be okay because I'm gonna have stuff to say, and I lately I couldn't feel myself being heard. So came home. I didn't do it, even though it was present, because I was like, no, absolutely not. That's the day. I even have the notes, my journal, my first notes. Oh, it's not here. Actually, the other journal. Sorry. I have a journal. I know my first page was December 8th. It was exactly that day when I started also journaling and saying what I was on my mind. And I think the pretty first page was the Serenity Prayer I was writing. And that night I went to sleep. It was a little bit feel like the feelings around was it was very eerie in the house because I could feel the his energy, like in a way weird. I woke up. When I woke up, that's when he went to sleep, and that was another turning point when, of course, he was not good. He was under the influence. I was not, but I was like, I already wrote on my note on my journal my goals for 2025, which one of them was clean. One of them was travel. One of them was laughing, like being like happy, like just doing more than what actually is going on now, and
Mhm.
not being trapped in this lifestyle. I can remember, but to this day, his eyes, like just like he felt like he lost me in that moment, or I don't know how to say it, but it was still like I was like, I want this. I don't want to feel the way I'm feeling now, and I feel like you're not hearing me, and therefore I want a marriage counselor. And that's when he flipped. It was like, why? What if I don't want a marriage counselor? Where it's not looking good. What do you expect me to do if you're not willing to do the work? Okay, I'm not saying you have a problem, but I say I do have a problem. So let me take care of myself. But if I come around and I take care of myself and I'm good and you're not good, well, that's not gonna work. I don't know what to expect me to do. And that's the moment when he asked, "What if I don't want therapy?" That's the point where his mask fell and
Mhm.
realized, okay, it was always about drugs and alcohol for you. And I'm sorry to say this, but that was just the truth. And it was the most scary week of my life because the whole week I was living with this man I thought I married. And deep down, all this time, I knew I had this thought that I want to be clean. I want to be clean because all these successful people are talking about sobriety and being clean and all these dark times they're going through. And I want that for myself. I don't want to be one of those people that die because of it. I want to be those people that overcame it. And that's pretty much my last year. I know, like looking back, I was like it step by step, like slowly. This is what formed in my head, and also started with you because you popped up into my DMs, and Sobriety 7 videos planted that hope seed in my head that yes, I can do better if I want to. And I started wishing more of that. And I started listening to more podcasts. And I remember another event, which was middle of the year. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, poor little girl. And I felt guilty that night. I was listening literally to a Mel Robbins podcast. And it's like she spoke to me in that. It was about like I literally everything she said in that podcast, it was exactly how I was feeling. And that was like, oh my God, I cannot wait for my husband to come home and show him that that's how I'm feeling. I need help. I need help. But it ended into an argument. It ended in me being feeling guilty of wanting that. And but even though he would say like, well, then do it, go to a therapist. Well, I don't want to be like, I try to go to the doctor and straight prescribe me Lexapro. I don't want that. I want to do the work. But I need guidance. I need somebody. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't have anything at that time. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember that's how it ended that night. And I stopped listening to Mel Robbins for a little bit. And or like I don't know. Looking back, that's the manipulation, the gaslight, the things that because I loved him so much,
Yeah.
I would not do that because that makes him mad.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was just a journey of like slowly getting me back to the truth and realizing that the moment I said no to drugs, after that, the truth, like God showed me how I asked him where I went wrong. And I went wrong from the beginning. I mean, the signs were there. I was just a little girl
Yeah.
that fell for love bombing and for that lifestyle because I thought that's what I deserve. That's what is love. That is what is true love. And throughout years together, I've been addicted to fentanyl, which was the worst part of my life. Um, but thank God we got that was April 30th, 2022. But I know we've hurt family members, we've hurt people around us. We broke their hearts. I'm looking back at it now, all the people that I lost, those people were grieving me when I was defensive about it. They were grieving me. They were grieving me. And I made sure to tell them now that with my mindset that I am sorry. I'm truly sorry and I understand it and I see it now and I get it. And I don't need empathy or everything. I just get it. I get it and I'll do it myself too. I'm grieving my husband, the potential I thought I married. I mean, the potential I married because I married the potential and that's it. Since I left, all I got was defensiveness, a smear campaign, not a how are you doing? I miss you or whatever. No, even till last week, hearing that he's reaching out to friends of mine, hitting up on them, and like talking bad about me. Oh, how dare I left him? Which, all right, let them. As Mel Robbins always said, let them, let them, let them, let them. And just do your thing, be silent, ignore, and just work on yourself. I will work on myself, and this is my biggest project. And one day this will be my testimony. It will be a book. It will be I'm not ashamed of my story, and I didn't do things. I did very, very bad things. And I've hurt people. I've hurt my family. I've been isolated from, even though some might say, well, you weren't held captive. Yes, I wasn't. But you can't held somebody captive if they're very easily influenced in their mind.
Yeah.
And that can be your captivity and not reach out when you need help. And I can count on my fingers throughout this 6 years since I've been in a marriage how many times I visited my family, how many times my sister wanted a big sister to be there for her, how much my mom needed the help next to her always. And every time I would come here, I would always rush to go back home, which was not a home. This is my home now.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, it's I don't know even what was the other question, or if there was a question. This was my pretty much summarized experience with
Well,
this.
the, que-
Definitely,
the question was, what what was the thing that got you to stop?
I
And
felt
that was a you got me. I don't usually cry on testimonials, but I was just like, oh my God,
like
Jessica, everything you said not only is so inspiring, but so much courage and strength that had to have happened. You woke up one day and just decided, I'm not
I,
doing this anymore. That's power.
yeah, I felt God. That was God's power because I finally was ready to ask for the help
Yeah.
because I got strayed away from Him. I got distant from Him.
I saw something on Instagram today where it said, God, I can't do this on my own. And then he's like, good. Oh, you
Good.
said it to me.
That's what I said. I was like, oh my God, yes,
Like, wait, I
yeah.
saw
But
that too. No, you
that's
said that to
first.
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The way God,
Good. Now I could do my work. I
yeah.
love it.
And
And
also, there was this video of Cat Williams saying, like, if you think you can do it by yourself, that's where you're going wrong. Like when you have God next to you and you speak to Him, like I do speak with God every time now, if like 5 times a day, and I it helps me hold myself accountable and realize, yes, I do still mess up, and
we're humans. We're
like,
gonna.
I'm healing, and I give myself the grace
Yeah,
of like, okay, be easy on myself and not be mean to myself, first of all.
absolutely.
That's a one also, like not being too harsh with yourself, because yeah, they make mistakes, it's human.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Humans, we're flawed, right? We're not meant to, we're not meant to be perfect. It's through our failures, right? Or the failed attempts that we learn our greatest lessons. Where you ask God, where did I go wrong? And you notice it was from the beginning, but when you're in it, you can't see out of it, right? You can't see out of the storm. You just wait for the clouds to separate and the sun will come through. But when you're in it, it's really hard to see. I mean, I am in love with Lou, but I told him at the time, I'm like, I just loved alcohol more. And because that's what will happen. It's the numbness, it's the escape, it's you don't have to worry about visiting your family. You don't have to worry about your responsibilities. It just lets you put your life on hold. But
Run from all your responsibilities and just push them back there till they pile up.
exactly, and then it just stacks up, and then now, you know,
Boom. It explodes the right wrong
face
moment.
it. You got to face the noise. And you said something really powerful, which was, no, I don't want the prescription. I want to do the work. And that is amazing, because that is what it
Yeah.
takes to get out of it is doing the work, is sitting and reflecting and looking at the journals and doing the journal prompts and being on the calls and showing up and asking for help because you're right. It's like there's strength in numbers and you need people. People need people. If you've ever seen Castaway with Tom Hanks and
Oh
he's
yeah. I was
talking
thinking about this.
talking to a damn ball, we need people. Clearly, I watched that movie in sociology. It's like we need people. So stop trying to do it alone. It doesn't make you weaker
Exactly.
for asking for help. It makes you stronger for recognizing I can't do this on my own, or maybe I can, but I don't know what it is. What's the work? When you don't know what the work is, you're just like, I'm working on a ton of stuff, but then you're spinning your wheels and you're slipping up on your sobriety, and you don't want that. And you're going to go the distance. Why? Because you are fully committed. I see you. I'm watching you doing the work, and it's impressive.
I,
So,
I
what?
truly believe, sorry to interrupt, I truly believe you, I don't know, destiny brought us together because how did you find me, first of all? And you slide into my DMs, and yes, your videos really planted that seed of hope into my head, and I was watching it every time I would see it. And then we hopped on the call together in January when I was like around 2 weeks sober since all the events that had happened in December. And I was very fresh, also still into my feelings and emotions. And even then, I was thinking, what am I getting myself into? But I truly think your energy and positive energy and like speaking out with somebody and trying made me realize I'm not as much concerned that I'm like more hopeful now to do this. So thank you, Cheyenne.
You're welcome, Jessica. I'm glad that you were able to join. And I know there were some concerns like, what am I getting myself
Yeah.
in? When you know you're about to do work, you're like, what's the work? And it can feel overwhelming. But once you're in it, it's like, it's not that scary. You know, those Zoom calls, like you're fine on the Zoom calls, you share, you listen to the other girls just fine. It's not as scary. But once you're in it, you're like, oh, I can do this. I posted today the podcast. What?
First and foremost, when I'm on the calls, I realize, oh, I'm not alone. I'm
Yeah.
not alone, and
There's
that's a good feeling.
more of us out there than you would think because you think that, an alcoholic, right? I put the quotes because like no way in hell am I calling myself an alcoholic. But you think of like a homeless man on a bench drinking out of a brown paper bag, but you can look, like a normal acting member of society and have a face mask on that looks presentable. And then when you go home, or maybe not even when you go home, maybe right there in the present day, and you're drinking and nobody knows. That was me. I was drinking all the time and nobody knew. I mean,
That was
Lou
also
knew, but most people didn't know.
like throughout the weeks, going to work, trying to hide it, trying like be miserable about it because you do have a guilty consciousness as much as you try to avoid it and not think
Yeah.
think of it or like listen to it. It's there.
You try to ignore it, but it gets loud and it gets louder the more you ignore it. The voices in our head sometimes are there to help guide us out of whatever it is what we're doing that we know we shouldn't be doing, but we try to fight our thoughts that are telling us, no, this is wrong. Like, no,
Yeah.
fine. So now being in the community, now being a part of Sobriety 7, how do you feel your mindset has changed and have you been able to make strong connections in the community?
Well, yes. I feel like I'm going to church every Sunday, every morning, every night. Um, Everybody's nothing but supportive and nice and with the good advice and a good word, and I'm more receiving of it. I think before I was used to think I'm not deserving of this type of love, but I think the love I've been receiving in the past 2 months and a half, yeah, 2 months and 15 days, I haven't had that love in years prior. So it's very, very humbling. I'm sitting easier with myself and my feelings now, or if I get in my head a lot or worried, I try to take a deep breath and sit with it, like pray or whatever it's good in that moment to do, journal or and yeah, just let it go, let that feeling go. Like it's not, I'm not gonna let myself be entrapped by that feeling anymore or those negative feelings. And it's an exercise because it's not gonna work from today to tomorrow. So I can see now how healing works and give myself time and be compassionate with myself. And yeah,
Absolutely. Time and processing. It's the one thing we don't want to hear is that it's going to take time. But it does. And when you come out on the other side, you're like, oh, I feel like I was able to let that go
yeah.
finally, you know? And so
There's
how do you feel? How do you feel about yourself now personally? Now that you no longer drink alcohol, what do you feel has changed immensely in your life?
my mind, my clarity. Um, I can look people in the eyes, which I had this talk with my, like, this is very, very, wow. I cannot look people in the eyes. People, like, it's such a big connection when you can look people in the eyes because, yes, finally I can say, yes, I did this. I was wrong. I messed up, but I'm trying to be better. And it's such a relieving feeling. You can look people in the eyes and it's I don't know, that's a big thing. I used to always not be able to look my mom in the eyes, or my sister, or family, or friends, or
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
it's
To a T. Yeah, that like
yeah, like I was wondering
painful.
across
Can't
my
look at it.
that yesterday, like, yeah, I couldn't see you, just your forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they say like when you start to work on your sobriety, you're able to hold your head high when you start to feel that pride within yourself because for so long you've been busy looking at the floor, in shame and guilt and just like, oh, maybe, also looking down because like what if they notice I'm on drugs? It's like putting look at them in the eyes. It's just it's no way to live a life.
It's like you're just keep trying to, I don't know where I heard this, like you're like in a cell and you're just trying to decorate your cell with all these little lies.
You're still in a cell.
Pretty, but mm, it's not working. It's not. It's
You're still in a prison cell. You still at the end of the night get that bar closed in. And we think that when you drink, there's some sort of freedom or control because of how much we drink or when we drink or whatever the case may be.
yes.
There is no control with drinking, especially when you're drinking from a place of pain, which most people are a pain or discomfort or uncertainty, just don't like themselves and wear these masks. And at the end of the night, they feel that having that drink allows them to take off a mask and be their real self. So many times I told myself, hold on, I need a drink so I can be myself.
Hmm.
What?
That's the thing also, because of course I was doing it as a, oh, this is my reward. I've had a hard week. I've had 2 hard weeks. But yeah, it's your reward, and what do you do with your reward? You're just giving all the money and everything you just saved for a week or two, and then you're starting from zero. And not only you have a hangover and you feel miserable because you haven't slept all night. In my case, because I was just also on coke and gambling, and gambling, yeah, you win here and there, but you also lose.
Yeah.
You lose a lot. And hey, I'm not proud of it, but I'm proud of not being in that lifestyle anymore. And I will never allow myself to be in that lifestyle anymore because, mm-mm,
Beautiful. I love
yes.
it. Not the most proud moments of our past, but to be able to say we've overcame it and to get ourselves out of it is the truest win and the biggest victory that you can get. And I'm just so proud of you. You're doing the work. I'm so happy for you. I know that life is very uncertain, a little challenging in the moment, but it's gonna iron out and you're just gonna have the life that you've always meant to have just by simply choosing yourself. You
Yeah.
did. You're doing it. And I love seeing you on the calls and I love having you in the community and I love having you be a part of the family. You've
I
been
Everybody's so nice and everybody's so welcoming and supportive. And I just love now people. I love being around people. I love talking to people. I love speaking my testimony as many times as I need to in a day because yesterday I had the client in nails. She made me cry. She just sent me a message like, thank you so much for your testimony. And she gave me a verse in the Bible and it just made me cry because I touched the person and she's been also in hard times, and she told me she had problems with one of her little daughters, and now she's healed, she's good, but it's just the way, I don't know, God and be there for you. It's always there for you. You just gotta be ready to see it. And I truly believe all these substances and alcohol are evil. And now I get it. Evil is everywhere. The devil is everywhere. And
Yep.
you get into it so easily. And it's not like the devil, like with two horns. It's in the alcohol, it's in the nicotine, it's in the all of these things that just gives you like, I don't know, this numbness to numb all your problems. Oh, you're hurting. Let's just numb it up and forget about it. And
Yeah.
that's not the way, because one day it's gonna come out in the worst way possible. And
You can't distract yourself forever. You can't numb out forever. You eventually got to face the noise. You eventually got to come back to reality and
yeah,
figure your way out of the mess that you've created from the series of choices that you've chose. We've all
I chose this lifestyle. I chose
chose
it.
it. We
Women,
chose it. We signed off on it. We wrote it. We're like, yep, got it. And now we have to untangle ourselves from the choices that we
it's
have.
a work in progress because it takes time, and it takes like to rewire your brain and unlearn these patterns. Like I moved to my mother, and the anger instilled in me, the anger that was coming out. Looking back, I'm like, oh my God. It is just, I'm still wow thinking about it, how miserable I was. But I'm so grateful, and what a blessing to have my eyes opened. And what a blessing to have the courage to say it out loud. Yes, I did this. I did it. I did it all. I did it
Right.
all.
I did it all, but here we are
Not
correcting.
anymore. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
And when you joined the community, were there any concerns outside of what did I get myself into? Were there any big concerns or red flags when you were joining?
Not really. No. I didn't have any red flags. I was watching you, and I really believed you are true and honest, because you were posting all of this inspiring videos, and they really inspired me, because therefore I wouldn't have been on the phone call with you in January. So you truly are doing a great job helping everybody and trying to be there for them. And we are all so grateful for you, Cheyenne. No red flags, honestly. I just needed to be ready, and I was ready.
Yep.
And when I was ready, I got in, and it's worth it. Just being there Monday to Friday as much as I can. Yes, I know I'm missing here and there, but that hour, it really helps. Going on a treadmill and just listening to you guys, and sometimes me talking, and I saw that I've touched somebody too from some of the women, and it's just I don't feel alone, and I know I'm on the right path. Therefore, I will not feel guilty about my choices. So I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm happy for the future, and yeah, just grateful. A lot to be grateful for.
Beautiful. Yes, we're doing our daily gratitude post every morning. I see you writing on those. Those are great. So you're amazing. I love everything about you. You just
You too, girl.
continue to amaze me. You really do. Just the way that you speak, the way you hold yourself, your story, what it took for you to get to this point in your life is just so empowering. And I hope that anybody who does listen or watch this is just as moved as I am listening to this right now. So
Thank you.
I don't have any more questions for you. If there's anything else that you would like to add in, otherwise this is the video.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. I'm high on sobriety.
Sobriety, high on life. It's the best, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
to be like truly proud of yourself is it's liberating. It
It,
really,
you can breathe. You can, I don't know.
I
I
think we
really, I really believed maybe a year ago that my life was supposed to be different, but right now I'm like, oh, so grateful for the things how they come out, and it was raw, it was hard, but very worth it. All the hardships in life are worth it.
we
As
are.
bad as they are, I believe there's beauty in that, and you will know one day why. So yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so much, Jessica, for
you.
doing the video with
Man.
me today. And thank you for telling your story and taking the time out of your day to hop on this call with me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, girl. I love you.
You too. I'll see you on tomorrow's call.
Yes, I will. I hope. I know. So
I will,
just
I hope.
I
You
gotta tell
better be on that call.
you,